We're about to show some cracking mugshots of people that you need to see. So you'll need the visual component. I love what the police have done with us. It's an absolute belter. So go to our YouTube channel, which is Talk Radio. You can go to our Twitter feed as well and see us on there too. But you'll need the visual component for the next bit. I'll describe it for anybody who's listening on the old-fashioned DAB. Funny that, isn't it? Old-fashioned DAB. Yeah, your old grannies out there with your digital radios. What you like? Yeah, do that now, and we'll show you the mugshots in a second. Thank you to Gary in Ipswich, by the way. There's a story we're going to do later about boilers. That by 2025, you'll have to get rid of any kind of boiler that in your home that doesn't tick the green box. All gas boilers, basically. And Gary makes a cracking point. All the boiler manufacturers have developed gas boilers that can be converted to run on hydrogen from 2025. All boilers will have to be capable of being altered to run on hydrogen. I trust business to know how we will be heating our homes rather than politicians. Heat pumps are the Betamax of heating. Yeah, I get that, Gary. Thank you. And I kind of sense that too. But that's a little bit like electric cars and then hydrogen cars, isn't it? So what you do, people talk about the Great Reset as if it's some kind of global, we're going to run your lives. I always think, no, this is about just making shed loads of money out of individuals because we've run out of things to make and invent and manufacture. So let's get everybody, the whole world buys an electric car. 10 years later, scrap that. Can you go and buy a hydrogen one? Or what about boilers? Yeah, get this kind of boiler. Yeah, can you then buy we got that wrong. So 5 years later, that's what I'm sensing. The Green Revolution is as much about capitalism as it's about the environment. I base this on just the kind of stories we cover, but you can have your own views on that. 0344 499 1000. We'll come back to that story. And this as well, as I was just referring to. The police who've displayed digitally aged images of the Cheshire Krays twins on billboards to show how old the gangsters will look when they finish their jail sentences. They hope the images of the gang boss who's been jailed, the gang bosses who've been jailed for a combined 50 years, will serve as a warning to others. And if you're looking on YouTube, you'll see now they've got the before and after kind of images. And this is essentially to say, this is what you look like a young buck going onto Sea Wing. You're going to come out looking like this. Look at him. Look at the state of that. I mean, he wasn't winning any beauty contests beforehand, was he, that fella? But look at him, look, 50 years' time. That's what happens. He's still got his good teeth, though. Peter Bleksley, former Met Police detective with us. How are you, Peter?
I'm quite tired, but I'm very well, thank you.
Well, come on to why you're tired in a few moments. But assuming we've got the right reason, of course. Let's look at this. I thought this was quite a good idea by the police. I don't know whether it makes a difference to whether somebody commits crime, but I guess their heart was in the right place.
I know a lot about Leon and Anthony Cullen, the two men who were serving those very long jail sentences. But I question whether this is actually the best use of police resources, because creating these images will have cost them money.
Yep.
Certainly the hiring of the van and driving that around Warrington. And believe you me, virtually everybody that lives in Warrington knows about Anthony and Leon Cullen. They're kind of like box office to the local newspaper. Their stories always got lots of readers and people clicked on it because they were of considerable interest. And rightly so, because they were notorious criminals. I'm not so sure, though, that here the police have done the right thing in spending this money on publicising these images.
Yeah, I guess that you're right. I saw it and I did think it looked like a big luxury for the police to put it out there. And I wonder, if anybody is in a similar world as these two characters lurked, whether they would look at that and go, I better stop my life of criminality because I might look old when I come out of jail. I don't imagine it's going to work.
It's a terrific resource if you're looking for a wanted person. If they've been on the run for a long time, like somebody like Kevin Parle has, who's been on the run for 16 years, then of course it makes sense to digitally alter the images to give people an impression of what he may look like now, and do that with other wanted persons.
Yeah.
But both these Cullen twins are now firmly behind bars and will be for a very long time. I suggest using their story is a better way of spreading the message to not get involved in serious and organised crime than driving a truck around.
Yeah, with their fizzogs on the back of it. Interesting. Listen, Peter, before we part company, I said I think I know why you're tired. Is this due to the amount of walking you're currently doing?
You're very kind, thank you. Yes, I'm currently taking part in a charity fundraiser where I'm trying to walk 1 million steps in May. So that's 480 miles in 31 days for an old bloke like me. I'm doing it in aid of SAM, Support After Murder and Manslaughter, a wonderful charity who are there for people in their darkest hour when they lose a loved one. They're basically a charity that nobody ever wants to use, but they're there for anybody that does, and they do wonderful work. So whilst I'm walking myself into the ground, I've just passed 600,000 steps in 18 days. Please, if anybody can spare £1 or two, go to givepenny.com, search Million Steps, and make a donation. You will really make a difference to people whose lives have been so cruelly devastated.
Givepenny.com, and then look for the, Million Steps on there, and you'll see it all. And Peter, how are the old pins holding up? Are they all right?
Yes, I mean, everything aches, and at some stage during the day I get pain in calves and ankles and knees and all that kind of stuff. But I'm 61, and this is a bonkers idea of mine. What do I expect? But the wonderful donations keep me going, together with, of course, realising that we're raising money for people who so often get a really bad deal. You know, because the police just want to catch the bad guys, the courts just want to try them, the CPS just want to prosecute them. And you imagine losing a loved one, how devastating that is. Say, for example, if that loved one is the breadwinner in your family, you can find yourself losing your home. And really, the ones who are left behind, who lose their loved ones, they are the ones who truly get a life sentence.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Peter, thank you. Peter Bleksley with us here on Talk Radio. Get over there. You can go to peterbleksley.com and get the details, or Google Give Penny Peter Bleksley to donate as well. You'll find it there too. It's cracking stuff he's doing. Looks like he's on his way to achieving it as well.